If you want to help your boy Toadskii become king of the cruise, go over to twitter.com and use the hashtag Toadskii for KOTP on any tweet on the platform to help your boy win this upcoming SNS campaign. And this is only going to be available for a week, so make sure to get your tweets in and you can do it as much as you want. So make sure to spam those tweets with the hashtag. Thank you so much for watching this video today. What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we are here to talk about the brand new KIZUNA Clash, which introduces a brand new character in this brand new buggy, and he is actually a really good unit. So I would suggest to, take your time and get this guy done, because he's going to be a pretty exceptional unit moving forward. So he's got great utility. We'll talk about him in a little bit, but of course, about this KIZUNA Clash, if we go over to the exchange period real quick, we can have a look at what is available in the boxes. Now, I have gone a little bit deeper in these boxes here, but in box 2 or 3, you will have to double check. One of them has plus 100 of each cotton candy, so that's actually pretty valuable. One thing to also note is that the buggy in this event does not have like specific limit break materials. He just uses regular materials, so you don't have to worry about that. However, the materials for the Boa Hancock and Luffy are going to be available, so you want to ensure that you go ahead and pick them up, as well as a previous KIZUNA exchange character in Margaret, a Summer Margaret, will be available here too, so make sure to get her done too, because she's got a great support effect that helps out your quick characters. But of course, you want to get to box 7 so you can get access to all of these tablets. There are 5 of each tablet in 1,000 different items. This is actually pretty good. It's always nice when they do that. 5 different tablets achievable there, and also across the board, if you go into these boxes, that you'll see rumble scrolls are also here. So if you really want to get your hands on them, you can. But remember, these are only the really low tier rumble scrolls, so you don't have to worry about it too much. And there's obviously rare recruit tickets and stuff along the way. You can get limit break materials for Zoro and Sanji. You can get limit break materials for Marco and Ace. So if you haven't maxed out some of those previous characters, you can do so here. Now let's go ahead and talk about the brand new character that everyone's going to be farming for in this event, which of course is the brand new Buggy. If I go ahead and filter by, he's a Dex unit. Filter by Dex, and we'll go to get date, and he is near the bottom here. Okay, so here he is right here. I've got mine, not max level yet, or not max special level yet, should I say, but I've got him at max limit break. I've got plus 300 candy on him, but this guy is a Dex Free Spirit driven. You don't see Free Spirit and driven characters too often, so pretty interesting that this guy is. His captain effect is a 3 times attack boost to both of those classes, Free Spirit and Driven, with a 1.25 health boost, and Dex slots are counted as beneficial. Not a great captain effect, but his special ability is the big thing here, because it reduces your crew's bind, paralysis, and despair duration by 5 turns. And then if your captain happens to be a Free Spirit character, he changes all slots into matching, and it goes through block orbs. Just a fantastic special that is definitely going to see play. So I would highly suggest you guys to max him out. As for his crewmate abilities, I'm not too sure. 50 attack to Free Spirit and Driven, and then makes his own strength and quick slots beneficial. He has slot bind, which is kind of nice as well. He also has recovery bind resistance, and his support effect is a 7% stat boost to any Free Spirit unit. In the Pirate Rumble as well, he is boosted right now, so he'll have a 25 cost instead of his typical, however many cost it is, what, 50? I think it's a 50 cost. Yes, it is 50 cost. So his special in Pirate Rumble is target all enemies for miss percent chance up level 5 for 20 seconds, and then targets enemies with the highest HP for 50% HP reduction, and then quick enemies get level 6 attack down. It's a very obscure special. I don't think it's that great. I wouldn't suggest using all your rumble scrolls on this guy. And his passive is Dex teammates get CT up level 3, and then for the first 50 seconds your whole team gets a level 5 crit chance. That's interesting, actually. Obviously, Free Spirit characters are known for having, the Free Spirit crit team. Everyone knows about that. So this is not a terrible passive if you want to just max it out just for the crit percent up, but I don't think it's that great. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of other characters that you could be using that provide a better boost than what this character does. But either way, let's go ahead and get out of the way and get actually into the breakdown of this KIZUNA Clash. Alright, so jumping straight into things, first of all, we have the free-to-play teams. Now, if you guys want to go ahead and just skip ahead to a certain team that you want to go ahead and check out, there's going to be, obviously, the timeline of events and also timestamps in the video description. But first of all, we're going to go through all the free-to-play teams for each variation, and then we'll go into my personal teams that I've been using thus far in this KIZUNA Clash. So first of all, against the versus int boss, typically you want to be using Boa Hancock. That was what was going to be used on this fight, but because we have access to Goldie Roger, it does make things a little bit more interesting. And I know that there's some people out there that are legit just using Gold Roger for all of the variations just because he's a rainbow captain, and if you just build everything else around him, it actually works very, very well. But of course, we're just going to go through some free-to-play teams first, and then we also have my personal teams that will be following this. Now, something that you need to note here, on Sabo stage, on stage 2, he will go ahead and have defense up, so you need someone to remove that or to reduce the enemy defense by 100% to make sure that you are clearing it a lot easier. But remember, if you are using Gold Roger, you want to be trying to hit as much damage as possible, so I'd highly suggest to make sure to bring, you know, some sort of way to get rid of that defense. And then we have Buggy on this stage, who has delay and defense down immunity. He also has normal attacks only that he inflicts to you. 5 turns of resilience as well, but we're using Smoothie and Oven switch effect to actually get around the resilience here, as well as providing an orb boost. And then also your middle and bottom row get special reverse, but when you have the new free-to-play Heartjan, who is available on the extra island right now, you can use him for additional tickets, as well as reducing your character's cooldowns. And then also, you will get a full board of block orbs, but of course, that's very, very easy to fulfill and get rid of when you've got Gold Roger as your captain to use his super type special. One thing to note though is that after a certain level of HP that Buggy gets to, I think it's around 30 million HP, he's going to go ahead and apply an additional mechanic, and in this situation here on this variation, he's going to go ahead and give you 4 turns of Ship Despair or Ship Gloom or Ship Bind, whatever it's called. So your ship ability is not going to be active after a certain period of time unless if you have a potential ability that can resist 4 turns of that, which is, it's very, very uncommon in this day and age to have any of that yet. Moving on to the second free-to-play team against the quick variation. This time around, we have a couple of things we need to worry about. Stage 2 against Jinbei is a really annoying stage because he has Threshold, so it's 4 turns of damage threshold, but the new free-to-play Heartjan can actually remove all of those turns, as well as your captain's orbs are going to be hit with that, it's like a slot barrier thing where you have to hit like a good, a great, or a perfect in order to break out of it. So your captains get inflicted with that, and then also all of your orbs are changed into a set pattern. So the pattern that he gives you, he'll always change it into that pattern no matter what. Which of course it's really good for V2 Jinbei, or V2 Jinbei 6 Plus, because giving you all the orb requirements makes it a lot easier for his special to launch, right? But anyways, Buggy is the final boss once again. He has full immunity this time. Also, normal attacks only is inflicted, and you get given 5 turns of special bind, so you need someone to remove that, and also 4 turns of chain coefficient reduction. So I would highly suggest to bring a really good chain locker. That's going to make it a lot easier to just bring a chain locker rather than bringing a unit to remove the chain coefficient reduction. And after a certain amount of time, after a certain HP threshold, I think it's around 30 million as I mentioned earlier, he does apply a new mechanic where he will go ahead and make all type slots count as badly matching for 4 turns. So there's obviously a couple ways you can get around that. You could use bomb slots with Kid, which I think is probably the easiest way. You could go ahead and use someone like Legend Odin, for example, and like Roger, like that combination to get Wano slots, which obviously it doesn't matter. They aren't treated as non-beneficial. Or you could use, you know, some sort of like rainbow slots or something like that. You could definitely use something like that. Or you could use like Sabo Koala. There's a couple of different ways you can get around that, but I think utilizing Legend Kid as a friend captain at the very least makes it significantly easier to get through this fight. And now we move on to the final team of the free-to-play teams against the strength variation. Now, something that I really didn't take any notice of is that this team has essentially no ways to get matching slots on the final boss stage. So what I would suggest is to potentially not use Doflamingo special on stage 2, which I do because that will enable us to, you know, get, you know, matching slots, which enable us to get through the barrier a lot easier. But obviously a big oversight by me by not actually thinking about that. And even though we have absolutely 0 matching slots on the final stage, we are able to just get the KO, and this is around like what, level 17, 18, something like that. And it was really, really close. So, you know, take it from me, make sure not to use the special on stage 2. But of course, if you are not using a full free-to-play team, you have a lot of other variations of units that you could bring, and we'll show you guys what I'm going to be using in this KIZUNA Clash thus far, which is a lot better team than what this one is. But either way, if you need to run full free-to-play units, this is not terrible here. And as you guys saw, it does have a very key support support unit attached to Robin, which is actually the Straw Hat Pirates character, because they remove 2 turns of bind, despair, or paralysis whenever it's inflicted to you, and after a certain threshold of HP, the Buggy will apply 8 turns of despair. So with sockets, it goes down to 5 turns, and then with the support, it goes down to 3 turns, and then with that Robin special, she actually will go ahead and remove 3 turns of despair. So if you do need it, then it's there, but of course, this team, depending on the situation, probably isn't going to be used after that certain threshold anyway. But you see, this Buggy gives you 4 turns of paralysis on the bottom row. It actually doesn't make that big of a difference, because you could just use Legend Sugar to go ahead and, you know, make your characters attack through all the paralysis and all that anyway. But making sure you have some sort of way to get matching slots is going to be definitely a better way to move forward with this team. So now we move on to my personal teams. This one is the versus int variation with Goldie Roger as the captain, with V3 Boa Hancock as the friend. We also got V3 Law to give us a really significant orb boost and the base chain effect, which I absolutely adore. We also have the Robin. Robin is a fantastic unit. Now, if you guys saw my preparation video for the KIZUNA a couple of days ago, I did mention about using Sanji and Judge and then the support effect of Onami to remove the defense. You could definitely still do that. I just decided to use Robin because Robin's boosted, so I wanted to just use this for a really long time, but as time goes on, I probably will have to switch it up to the Sanji Judge because it will give you a little bit more damage, but it is a little bit slower running that. Either way, doesn't make that big of a difference. We also have Rayleigh on the team to enable us to proc the super type special of Roger, as well as giving us a 2x color affinity boost, so that is freaking amazing to have an ability like that. And then we've got Gangster Gastino, who is going to go ahead and poison the enemies, which enables us to get around the resilience buff of Buggy, and it also gives us a 1.75 times conditional boost against those poisoned enemies. So it's a really perfect unit to not only get around the resilience, but also just to give us more damage for free. It's an absolutely phenomenal special to have for the team. But with all that being said, pretty straightforward team, and I'll see you guys in the next team, which is versus Quick. Moving on to the versus Quick variation with my own personal team, we are using double Eustace Kid as the captain, because when you have those bomb or super bomb slots, you get 5 times boost, which is pretty good, right? And it's kind of good, you know, 5 times boost. But then the other characters we have in our team, we've got Luffy Law for the 2.5 times orb boosting effect. We also have the support of Sabo attached to him as well. So whenever we launch the special of the Luffy Law, they just get such a significant stat boost, and they are easily the hardest hitting unit on this team, like by an extreme long shot. So by having that, if that support effect, it does make a big difference. If you don't have it, obviously it doesn't make that big of a deal, but it just means that your team is just going to be doing a little bit less damage. It is what it is, right? We also have Sanji and Pudding here, and the main reason for that is because in my preparation video, I did mention about Judge. Judge, by the way, is a color affinity booster. He's a 2 times color affinity booster to your Dex characters. However, the problem there is he also, in his special, removes Chain Lock, and because we have to use Garp's special first, Judge would actually remove Garp's Chain Lock, so obviously we don't want that. So we have to just replace that with a different color affinity booster. We have Sanji and Pudding on this team, but legit any other color affinity booster that is for your Dex characters, it makes a big difference. You could use Legend Nami, but the thing to note is that Legend Nami's color affinity does not give that to Luffy and Law, because Luffy and Law are not a free spirit, cerebral driven, or powerhouse character. So I'm using Sanji and Pudding. You could use Paraspera, for example. There are a couple of different variations, but Sanji Pudding is what I went to go with anyways. And then of course we are using the KIZUNA Hachan because he's a really nice unit to bring to get rid of the threshold on stage 2. And now we move into the final team, which is going to be using Legend Sugar against the Strength Variation. Now we are using Shanks as a friend captain. Now you typically don't want to use a chain lock with Legend Sugar because Legend Sugar has like a lot of chain boosting effects, but through calculations that I was looking at online, I did find that Shanks just as the captain with his chain lock worked a lot better than bringing like Double Sugar or someone else, or Luffy Law as the captain for example, and then a chain booster instead of Shanks crew. It just ended up being better by using Shanks crew with the chain lock. It's just the way it is. I don't know, the calculator is what it is, right? So with this team we have Bobbin to remove the Rainbow Shield against Boa here on stage 2. We have the Shanks crew for his amazing chain lock. We do use it on this turn as well. We were able to get both activations of the Sober Mask on the final boss stage, as well as having Luffy Law with his 2.5 orb boost. So we have 2.5 attack, 2.5 orb, 3.5 chain lock, Sugar's Toy Soldiers, we have the color affinity, and we also have Whitey Bay attached to Okiku, so that later on when we get inflicted with despair, double activation of Okiku plus the support effect of Whitey Bay, we're able to completely remove all of the despair that gets inflicted. So this team, I think this team is going to do over 200 million damage. I haven't got to a point where that's been able to activate, of course, but I'm pretty sure this team is going to be doing close to, if not more than 200 million damage. Pretty impressive team, actually. But anyways, that's going to wrap up this video today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. And if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
Yanaka.